Zambia's energy sector has been negatively affected by climate change, which has led to reduced power generation capacity, as the country depends on water for over 80% of its power generation. Economic activity has ultimately slowed down due to the increased power rationing. The government has been working round the clock to alleviate this energy deficit, and today President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA has given a target of 1,000 megawatt power generation using solar energy by the end of the year.
We have 9 more months of the year. We can achieve 1,000 megawatts. Public sector, ZESCO pipeline, private sector, call it any name, Zambian, others, in solar alone. I'm not talking about Mamba. I'm talking about solar. That's what our objective should be. We must advance and now get our targets right. As we have 3 million tons of copper, we need ultimately 10 gigawatts. 10,000 megawatts, 10 gigawatts. But this year, solar alone, we must have 1 gigawatt, 1,000 megawatts. I would like us to sign up to those targets and then work backwards so that in your boardrooms, you don't delay the decisions. That's why we are asking you to share this understanding with the board and your chairs. And if you want answers to certain questions they have, we are available to answer those questions. Zambians sitting in London, drinking brown coffee, green coffee, tea, can now come and invest as Zambians in the diaspora, in the sector. We need amongst ourselves someone to have a facility and instrument, chair, that talks to that the diaspora, you want to invest in energy, this is how you do it. You can come through us as a bank, and you will be able to have an opportunity to get a power purchase agreement. I would like that story to be told.
The president has encouraged financial institutions to take advantage of the energy deficit to fund power generation projects and improve their profitability.
Also, corporate interest, but as chief executive, personal interest to improve your delivery to your shareholders, to your stakeholders, because this energy in a deficit now offers this opportunity. I would like you to encourage your boards to walk this path with you, with this government, in terms of energy sufficiency and, more importantly, surplus, so that we can return to exporting. I'm very, very agitated personally that we had to give away our export markets, and some of which we may not recover, we may not get back. Let's help our own ZESCO to revive, to restructure the balance sheet. You come in there. When ZESCO can't do certain projects, the private sector can do them because they have a cleaner balance sheet. But through trading with ZESCO, who have the transmission, and through the restructuring, they are obligated by law now to move power. In your mention of open access, ZESCO's income will improve, whether they are in the generation side, and in cases where they're not, they will still transmit the power. There's revenue there.
During the same meeting, Minister of Energy Makozo Chikote outlined the initiatives that the government has put in place to bring short-term and long-term relief to the sector and called on the financial sector to help fund the initiatives.
There are a number of reforms that we have put in place that speaks to invite private participation that responds to the challenges that we are facing. Now, Mr. President, the question here is, it calls our private sectors to support the roadmap that we have put in place. In the solar, first of all, as a ministry, we have identified that solar solution would be the immediate answer to the challenge the country is facing in terms of sufficient supply of power. So we have selected, Mr. President, first, like you have heard from the MD, ZESCO, because those are our key players in terms of implementation. We have said that we have to go back to the directives that you already pronounced, which we termed as presidential initiative, solar presidential initiative.
Earlier, the Bankers Association of Zambia also pledged their willingness to help the sector recover from the energy deficit in the country through capacity building and transaction efficiency.
Into this year and what we are here to discuss, we're very keen to progress the actions that we had agreed around this table last year and to try and see as financial institutions how we can continue to play a part. Already we saw some key transactions coming through from the sector last year, and with what we'll be discussing this today, we do hope that we'll be able to put all our thoughts and minds together to try and see how best we can take this forward as we continue to increase the power generation in country here in Zambia.
Sarah Miti reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.